You guys got your quotes, your one-liners ready?
I'm
gonna
I
start.
do. I have two, and I guess
Okay.
Scott always goes first, so he can't do both. So
Okay. So you got like a 6-second advantage. Okay.
yeah, pretty much.
Welcome to the Cinema Slime Podcast, the podcast where we drift through film, ponder the endless silence, and observe how the flickering light masks our inevitable lonely drift.
Whoa, that was intense.
I'm Ren, one of your hosts, and as always, I'm joined by my brother, Harrison.
Moonchild!
And my brother-in-law, Scott.
No, not too much. A long way to go.
Perfect. Every movie we cover is from a curated list and randomly picked based on our monthly theme. Right now, we are within week 2 of Forgive Me, Lord, for I have synthed. Just a reminder, if you want to jump straight to the film discussion, you can use the chapters in your podcast app to skip there. Today, we're heading to Fantasia, to the one that started it all, Wolfgang Petersen's 1984 film, The NeverEnding Story.
The never-ending story.
But first, a word from our sponsors.
Oh, wait, Scott, do a commercial for your book.
Hey, we can do that. We have no limits, man.
We can do whatever we want, man. I will say this: you legitimately threw me off by putting me first.
Good. You gave me that ammo.
Literally, I paused. I was like,
Fix it in post.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's all good.
No, I like throwing curveballs. I had this thought that just occurred to me. So today, me and Harrison, we were working together detailing this car. We show up. It's a nice Audi, pretty standard. We get there. It's not even that dirty. And then we're trying to get the electricity hooked up so we can start vacuuming. And he goes, "Oh, yeah, actually, I don't live here, so I don't even know where the plug-in is." I was like, "Okay, cool, whatever." Didn't think anything of it. Then we do an awesome job. It looks great. And then he goes, "Hey, can you just send me the invoice?" And we go, "Yeah, you just pay it whenever. All we ask is that you take care of it by the end of the business day if possible." He goes, "Oh, yeah, no worries. I mean, you know where I live." And I was like, "Wait, I don't know where you live, though." Are you going to pay the bill? And I just saw he hasn't paid it yet. So I was like, wow, that took 6 hours to sink in. So hopefully he pays his bill. We'll see.
That's pretty funny, Ren. Now I'm all panicked.
Yeah,
no. What was it? I had a client. We did $700-800 worth of work for him. And he showed up about halfway through the detail, and he starts talking to me, and all these red flags are popping up. Here's some classic ones just for anyone out there listening who hires a detailer. Here's the fastest way for us to go, you know what? Never mind. If you go up to your detailer and go, "Hey, you're going to do a good job, right? You're actually going to do a good job, right?" Also mentioning "Oh, I don't know if I have enough money in my account right now." That's a pretty big red flag.
Or my friend's gonna take care of the bill. Can you send it to his email?
Yeah, that's a pretty big red flag. And then classic ones yeah, I used to detail all the time, and yeah, he didn't pay his bill for a week, and I had to get a little persuasive with him to be like, "Hey, it's not that hard, bro."
He's like, "You have no idea how hard or not hard this is, Mr. Harrison." Is that even your real name?
Who are you? I didn't hire anyone.
Why is my car so clean?
You knock on his door, and he's just like, "Did you see the no soliciting sign?"
Yes. No, what was it? I did have a slight panic. That I was thinking about like, okay, what's going on here? And I remember I knocked on the door, and I think it was a sister answered the door, and they had all these moving boxes, and she's like, "Oh, I'm just moving in." And I like went on a spiral of like, what if they weren't moving in? What if they were moving out? What if I never see this guy again?
Yeah.
Like it was all a scheme,
Yeah.
you know? Detail and then ditch, which has happened to me. We had a guy do that with a boat one time.
Detail ditch.
Yeah, we
It's
went
a new term.
Psycho.
we went and spent a whole day on this guy's boat. Got it looking incredible, and he was in the wind the next day. It was crazy.
Golly.
Yeah, it was dirty as
What a
hell.
winner. I had a thought, and I was just thinking, we haven't really done any what we've watched updates. And Scott, you mentioned you watched this movie a while back, and I was like, I don't remember him ever telling me that. And now I want to know what else you're watching behind our backs. If you are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't work with you, so I don't get to just like, hey, Ren,
Yeah, I know.
watch this rando thing.
I want to subscribe to your brain.
I have not watched anything other than Cinema Slime stuff. I've just been.
Yeah.
Today, I was working on building out functionality for writing essays on the Cinema Slime website.
Yes, sir.
So I was thinking through that architecture. I've got a pretty cool idea, so I think it's gonna be rad.
Awesome.
I should
Excited.
probably start writing essays for our website then.
Yeah, my thing is I have too many ideas, so I need to hone in, and I'm kind of just toying with some things. But yeah, more to come on that. Maybe. We'll see.
Well, there is no limit to the number of essays we can post on the website, guys.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Maybe that's it. We'll sponsor ourselves. Sponsored by Cinema Slime. Go to our website.
I mean, we
Read
are
the
sponsored by
essays.
ourselves.
Whoa.
What about you, Harrison? You watch anything cool? Or
Not
horrible?
really. What was it? No, I've been actually jamming a couple games lately, just in my spare time. I'm playing some like Batman Arkham City, which has been pretty fun.
That game's incredible.
It's pretty sweet. Okay, it's really good as long as you ignore all the Riddler stuff and all the collectathon pieces of it. like just get past that, like stick with the main story, and then if you really love the game, then you can play a second playthrough and you can get all the collect all the things.
Yeah.
But there's so many of them, it's kind of insane. Playing through Dishonored, that's another good one I'm playing.
Ooh.
I beat Call of Duty United Defense, like one of the first Call of Duty games, which
Dang.
those are always funny. Those old Call of Duty games are really funny because they kind of like end and you didn't like know it was gonna end. Like it's like you finish a mission and it's like, all right, that's it. You're like, oh, all right. And then the other one I fired up Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never played a Resident Evil game before, but I've watched people play it and I thought it'd be kind of fun. But I started that thing up. Scott, have you ever played it?
Yeah. I mean, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just that first intro scene, like it always weirds me out when they have live action like cinema shots like in video games. It like totally messes with my head. And the first Resident Evil has this whole opening scene, and then just the voice acting in it is something else. Like my favorite line so far that I've heard is you got the character you're playing, and then like kind of your guide character, the guy that's like guiding you through everything, and he goes, "Hey, I have this lockpick. This might be helpful to you, the master of unlocking," and hands you the lockpick. You're like, why did you say it like that? Why do you have the lockpick and I don't? If I'm the master of unlocking, shouldn't I already have that? Like, it threw me off a little bit.
I'll go through like 5 or 10 minute like breaks like in between things, and I've been putting on Dr. Mario, and I just like turn the music up, and the game is
He
so
just
awesome.
listened to it. Man, you just gave me an itch to play what is it? Crud. Mario Music Maker, is that what it's called?
Mario
Paint is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Mario Paint. Yeah. You had to use a mouse controller for it.
Meow.
And then you have that game. You have that game where you have to swat the flies.
Ding 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 ding. Oh, dude. That brings up so many great memories. Oh my gosh. With the mouse.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Well, Scott let me borrow
I
a mouse like maybe 2 months ago, and they just added it onto the Nintendo Switch Online. So I got my fix from that, and that was really cool to revisit.
There you go, man.
Super fun.
There you go.
Speaking of which, I forgot. I keep forgetting to bring over the 64 controller adapter so you can play GoldenEye.
Yeah,
legit.
None of those games are good without that controller. Like, I can't play GoldenEye, can't play Legend of Zelda. There was like two, like Banjo-Kazooie. Just like, you can't do it without the right controller.
Dude, I love Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah,
I think it's like
that's awesome.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie and Star Fox 64.
As I'm looking at your Jinjo's avatar right now.
Oh yeah, I always forget that. You know what's not aged well in that game though is all the talking, because they do like their little voices.
That's my favorite part of the whole
I don't
thing.
know. It gets old. It gets old.
No, see, I love when you get up to a character and you like kind of have to guess what they're gonna sound like, and then it's like some guy. It's like a fish or something, and it's like.
Yeah.
It brings me so much joy.
That's funny. I
to
forgot
play
about
that game.
it's that alligator, the belching sound.
Yes,
That's so
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, no, that's like my favorite part is the characters' voices. And the only thing that's really rough about that game is it doesn't like save your progress well. So it's like if you go into a world and one of the objectives is like, oh, you have to collect all the music notes. If you leave the world, it resets them.
Oh yeah.
Like you have to do everything in one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest thing about that game. It just doesn't save your progress very often. So it's like, oh.
So there was this era where the whole game design was how many things can we make you collect across 10 different categories.
Donkey Kong 64.
And Banjo-Kazooie.
Dude.
Yeah, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, a little bit Mario 64. Like, it was just this really slim time frame where it was like defining for so many people, but notice we don't play those kinds of games all the time.
Yeah.
It's true. No, honestly, I actually jammed some Mario 64 not too long ago, and I just remember I would get all the stars and I'd be like, oh yeah, the red coins. I just kind of left those go. Sometimes there hits points where it's like, I really just want to be able to actually feel like I beat a game.
Yeah.
I want like a nice definitive ending. I want some nice definitive goals rather than like, hey, we're going to plop you in the middle of this world and just kind of do what you want to do, you know? And then if you want to do the main quest, you can eventually, but you know, just kind of do what you want to do. And every now and then it's like, no, just give me a start, give me a middle, give me an end. That's all I need.
Like a Star Fox.
Did you guys want to start a deep philosophical conversation about structures of games? Is that what we're doing right now?
No, not right now.
I can play this game.
Not right now.
The NeverEnding Story.
Maybe that's a blog idea. And speaking of being plopped into whole other worlds, you like that one?
Ooh, that was a Scott quality transition.
Yeah. I learned from the best, man.
Brutally obvious.
I just had a vision of making a video of all of your transitions, Scott, and the music in the background just like doop da boop ba da ba da ba da. Something silly sounding.
I got it.
And with that, let's do this. Escaping the harsh reality of school bullies and his father's grief, a lonely boy named Bastian seeks refuge in a bookstore where he discovers a mysterious leather-bound book. As he reads, he is pulled into the magical world of Fantasia, a vibrant realm threatened with total annihilation by a creeping dark force known as the Nothing. Bastian soon realizes that his own imagination is the key to saving this dying fantasy land, and that he isn't just a passive reader, but a vital part of the adventure itself. This is Scott's pick, and this is Wolfgang Petersen's 1984 film, The Never-Ending Story. All right, boys, let's have some fun.
Let's get back to normalcy.
Yeah.
So Scott, What did you think of this movie? And what's your history with it? Tell me about the first time you watched it, all that good stuff.
So I'm pretty sure I watched this movie when I was younger, but I don't really remember. I mostly remember the turtle, and
Out of everything.
but I grabbed it probably 2 or 3 years ago, and I showed it to Hawkins, and I was like, "This movie is so corny, but I just want to see that dumb luck dragon." and and then I've watched it like 3 or 4 times over the past couple of years, and then once again just prepping for this episode, and it's kind of pulling a Power Rangers on me. The more I watch it, the more I'm like, this movie's kind of perfect. It's so dumb and it's so perfect, and I'm just really excited to just BS with you guys about this movie because I feel like it doesn't deserve to be treated well, except that it's actually good too. So I don't know. I have conflicting feelings.
You're
about
right.
it.
It's so beloved by so many people, but I kind of walked away just being like, huh? Like, what? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. No, I'm kind of with you on this. So I think it's one of those movies I'm like, I don't really understand why it's so well regarded, especially to a certain generation of people. And I definitely walked away from it kind of like, okay. Well, actually, no. What really happened was I finished the movie. I was on a freaking high. I was like, I think this might be the greatest film I've ever watched. And then I got off of the dragon and came back down to earth. And I was like, okay, hold on a second.
Okay, when you sent that message on Discord, I was afraid to ask you, like, are you talking about Sorcerer or NeverEnding Story? Because we hadn't recorded at that time. But
I kind of came back down to earth and I was like, I don't know if this is that good. And then about 2 hours ago, I sat down and kind of just went through kind of the key scenes, the big ones. And I walked away and I was like, I think this is something amazing, actually. Like, it's not, it's not going to blow my socks off. I'm not going to be reaching for this movie, but I think there's some really cool themes and there's some really strong moments in this movie that I feel like are really going to stick with me. So, and just my history of this movie, I really believed that I've seen this movie. I felt like I was going to sit down and watch it and have all these nostalgic feelings, but I'm watching it and I'm like, I don't remember any of this at all. And so I was racking my brain. I was like, I remember the dragon though. Like, I really remember that. And then I was like, okay, well, there's 2 and 3. Maybe it's that. So I watched a trailer for 2 and I was like, that didn't do it. And then I watched a trailer for 3 and I was like, damn, that's the one I think that's the one I watched when I was a kid.
Oh, you found it.
And
nice.
I don't remember anything about it really. I think there's like a big windstorm. I think that's the only thing I remember. But yeah, I watched the trailer and there was just some characters in there. I was like, that's the one. This is the one I watched when I was a kid, which is unfortunate because it has like this movie has like a 7.3 or something on IMDb, and the third one has like a 3.4 or something crazy like that. And you're just like, ooh. Yikes. So I fell in love with the bad one, apparently.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like, so we grew up mostly Disney, and having a friend that had NeverEnding Story was kind of like your friend that had a Sega Genesis. Like, they're just like a different...
This is the best analogy ever.
Yeah.
So true.
Maybe progressive parents or something. I don't know what it was, but I don't know what. But yeah, I'm sort of with you. I just remember the big turtle, and then I also kind of went down the same rabbit hole as you, Harrison, because I remembered him like being at like a wall, and like he would like look up, and then these stones would like pop out of the wall, and he would climb up it. And I think that's in the second one, but I mostly remember that.
Man, we gotta watch 2 and 3 now. I think. I'm feeling it.
The never-ending deep dive.
Yeah, or like a hate watch month or something. I don't know if you were done with your point, Harrison, but I want to formally open a discussion about something that pertained to this movie. I think me, all of our audience, all the listeners, we have to know, how did your kids react to the nipples on Sphinx Gate?
I can tell you my reactions to it. Jesus. My reaction, my reaction to that, I was watching, I was like, this is a really serious moment, but man, those are some big knockers. Oh my gosh. Like, it's crazy.
I was like, oh, that's why I didn't grow up watching this. Like, I could see, so we always watched Disney movies. Our Nana, she had like all of them on those thick plastic, like white VHS covers.
Yes.
Also, quick shout out to our Small Soldiers episode where that was the last of those. I don't know if you remember that little tidbit, but
Yep.
But yeah, I feel like this might be like a phantom memory, but I feel like we watched this. Nana did not like that part, and then I think it like swiftly was removed from our like existence. Like it left the catalog.
That wouldn't shock me one bit.
Yeah.
I will say, so I tried to watch this with my kids. Jamie was chilling in the living room anyways. I was like, hey, I'm going to throw this movie on. And he was like, all right, fine. And like, he was so disinterested in everything. He was just like, what is this? Like, what? And then my daughter, she comes out of her room and she kind of like walks by the TV and she does that thing where she looks at it and she like stares and then her body starts walking away, but her head is still like what the heck? And then
There's something there.
She gave me this look of like, Dad, you're 34. Come on. And then she walked into her room. I was just like, whoa, judged. My goodness. So yeah. My kids were completely disinterested and they weren't in the mood for it.
I mean, it's so they just like stare at you when it's on the screen, and my kid, like Knox in particular, you guys could call it, he got so uncomfortable and gets like nervous and laughs. And Cash just sits there all stoic and he's just like, this is weird.
This is strange.
Just playing it cool. But same as you, real quick, I just want to say I was watching it a little bit like a couple hours ago. Knox walks in, he's like, you're watching this again? So yeah, they don't care for it.
Love it. What about you, Scott? Do your kids just like freaking love this movie?
Yeah, they do.
That's awesome.
So your guys' kids are Gamork, and mine are Treyu and Bastian.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Another memory I've had of this film. So we'll get to the horse scene, but I will say this.
What horse scene?
Yeah, right? What do you mean? I scrubbed that from my mind. For some reason, I always associated that horse scene because I've seen clips of it and I've heard people talk about it, like traumatizing them. But for some reason, I thought it belonged to Bridge to Terabithia, which is another traumatic kid movie.
Oh,
but for some so for some reason, I didn't think that scene was in this movie. So when it happened, it kind of hit me a little harder because I was like, oh my gosh, that's what this is from. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how I mixed that up, but yeah, it did.
My wife grew up watching this.
Oh.
And when I told her, I was like, we're watching NeverEnding Story. And immediately she goes, NeverEnding Story. She starts breaking out into the music. Yes. She loved it as a kid, but hated the horse part. She said that was horrific for her. And she's not alone.
No, most definitely.
Nope.
I don't know. So just to jump into the movie, I think the worst part of this whole movie is actually just the opening bit of we're getting to know Bastian. And I feel like it's just like cliche after cliche after cliche. It's like, oh, he's sad because his mom died. That's depressing. Oh, and there's bullies that chase him. Oh, of course they're going to throw him in the dumpster. And now he's going to hide in this bookstore.
Get back in the trash.
Then he's going to run into this bookstore and there's the grumpy old man who's like, kids suck and I hate them. What are you doing in here?
They don't go beep, 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 beep.
By the way, my other line for this opening was going to be like, yeah, they're small rectangles. They're called books. But yeah, no, that whole opening stretch was just like, I like called like every second of it. So that part wasn't very original, but I think the harshest part of it is he's like sitting down for breakfast and his dad's like, hey, you gotta like get over the fact that your mom's dead. I know that happened like a week ago, but like, come on, you gotta like, you can't let that hold you back. And it's like, bro, get this kid some therapy, please.
Just crack your egg into the orange juice and shut up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assert that is the actual real theme of this movie is you need to man up and eat your freaking eggs raw.
Yeah, dude.
Blend it in some orange juice and drink it like a man.
Yep.
Get over yourself.
Have you guys ever done that?
Hey everybody, just popping in real quick. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, that would really help us out a lot. But either way, let's get back to the show.
Eggs. I think I remember trying it once at scout camp as a dare, but I don't think I ever like woke up and was like, yeah, raw eggs. That'll get me up this morning.
My intro to that was from Rocky. and I puked like right away. But I eventually, I could do it today. But yeah, it took me a few tries to like stomach it.
So, is it better to blend the eggs? Or
Definitely.
do you gulp them down like an oyster?
Yeah.
Oh man. Wait, Harrison, have you ever tried to gulp down a raw egg? I think that this goes without question.
Yes, I have
It's
tried to
so
gulp down.
gross.
Oh my gosh, I just had a vision of that reptile in Rescuers Down Under trying to swallow that egg. Oh my gosh. That movie is so
That
good.
movie's awesome.
Yeah, the movie's incredible.
Uh,
Better than the first one, if I'm remembering correctly.
When I was a kid, I never put both sides together that the kid was reading. Like I said, I didn't really grow up watching it, but I really liked how it blends Bastian's character into the Atreyu part. And there's some kind of deep stuff going on that I never would have thought was included in this movie. But when he reads the name Atreyu, he looks down at this drawing or this design on his bag, and it's like a Native American Indian. That right then and there, he assigns that image to the Atreyu name. And of course, he's the same age as him because he's the one reading it.
yeah.
And it's just kind of foreshadowing for what happens later, obviously. But I didn't catch that, and I was like, oh, this is like pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like I kind of just I took it for granted and just like did not expect it to be as good as it was, even though I think I didn't like love it. But yeah. Anyways, I want to give it props. That was nice.
I think I'm just gonna insert that this is one of like a really prime example of a movie that like truly, honestly, objectively, the presentation of the movie is meh. But the deeper themes and what it's trying to say
Totally.
and stuff is pretty superb.
You said it better than I did. Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
totally right.
So, Scott, I actually have a question for you. Do you think that NeverEnding Story is like the prelude to Tenet? Because I was watching this and I was like, oh my gosh, like he's the kid. And at the end, they're going to, it's like you were along with the journey the whole time. And then she starts talking right at the screen at him. And I'm like, I feel like the timelines are like converging, like this is the moment.
So it's alluded to in the movie that Bastian and the old man in the bookstore are actually the same guy, just reversed entropy. I don't know if you caught that.
Scott, oh my gosh.
I believed you. I believed
My
you
whole
for a
world
half
just
second.
exploded. I love this so much. Please be true. Oh my
I'm in.
gosh.
No, this isn't Zathura, guys. Get your head out of your butt.
Oh my gosh. No, speaking of those two characters though, man, one thing that kind of, I wouldn't say wigged me out, but it was like, this is really weird, is we're following Atreyu the whole time, but it almost feels like he's not the main character. Like Bastian's the main character of it, but we don't really spend a lot of time with him. We're spending time with Atreyu. So, I mean, I guess they're kind of the same character in essence, but it was just kind of the strange like balance between them.
Yeah.
I've never seen a movie like this. It's like the narrator is simultaneously reading and creating the story at the same time. I learned this from your wife, Ren, the other day so this is based off of a book, and the book goes deeper into the themes of, grief and loss, and that the Empress more explicitly embodies a lot of the things that Bastian loves about his mom and misses about his mom. So this is like, this is the thing about this movie that keeps hitting me is that, so like we live in a really tangible, look it up type world, and there's a magic that's gone. Like we're just experiencing that. And I think that's kind of the whole purpose of the movie is that it was disappearing back in the 80s as well. As people are getting more and more tangible and sciencey or whatever you want to say about it. And it's kind of that, like, you have permission to still imagine and still dream and still make stuff up and think unicorns are cool instead of sissy or whatever. And the fact that, there's this kid that is escaping into this world and it helps him heal and deal with grief and stuff like that. Like these are genuinely useful things about what we like to label pretty condemningly as escapism entertainment,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But there's still a place for it, and it's still really nice to just be like, you know what? I don't really want to think about geopolitics today.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just want to play Mario 64 or Star Fox or whatever and just have a kick butt couple of hours and then have a shared fake language with friends, you know? And I think this movie captures that pretty well. And
Absolutely.
it's sad to see it gone.
Yeah. Wow. I don't know. That just kind of blew me away, just you saying that, because of how, I don't know. It's like, wow, this movie is still very relative today. Like, just that whole theme of like, it's like, hey, it's okay to escape. It's okay to have these imaginary places. And I know that we have so much information now that you're right, Scott. We could just Google things. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, when I was a kid, it was kind of strange for me to think about just people living far away, like people on the other side of the earth. Like the thought of like, oh, there's people on the other side of this earth. Like that was really weird for me as a kid. And nowadays it's like, well, yeah, like I can Google videos of people living on the other side of the earth and all over the world, you know? Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's just.
No, I know what you mean. Well, it's kind of funny. This is tying in because today we were mentioning Red Dawn and Harry Dean Stanton's his character, and he's like, "Avenge me!" This is also an '80s dad in this movie, and he's telling his kid to kind of like, basically stuff everything down, just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and get to work, and you can't be sad about it. And you know, processing grief, and one of the best ways to do that is to face it head on. It's probably the most uncomfortable thing you can do. But that ties into him. Okay, when he opens the window and he screams out Moonchild, there's this whole other, like, did you guys catch any of this? Like, with the name?
It was his mom's hippie name. Was that it?
Yeah. Okay. That's what okay. I never would have put that together unless I looked it up. But I guess the audience is supposed to, or maybe it's probably from the book more so. But when he says Moonchild, that's supposed to represent his mom's actual name, but the Moonchild name is for us? I don't even know. I can't even explain it, which is annoying. But did you guys catch that? The Moonchild is his mom?
I mean, not the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I didn't even get it this time. I was like, what? How was that? I don't know. I guess I needed it explained to me a little bit better.
I kind of love the framing of this book or this movie that we are vicariously living through Bastian, who is vicariously living through Atreyu.
Yeah.
And we're escaping into the movie, The NeverEnding Story. And that it's this meta commentary on like there's a third space, like a safe fantasy dimension that's simultaneously like connected with everyone else's nerddom and our own geek out nerddom, and the whole point is to maintain a sense of magic in a world that is increasingly more sterile and aggressive's not the right word, something like that though.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they slam the thunder sound over him yelling child out the window is like the most Christopher Nolan move. It's like, it doesn't matter what the word was.
Okay.
You're not supposed to care.
Yeah.
And so it's like, no, we mixed the audio in Tenet terribly because it didn't matter what they were saying right there. Just get over it. You're like, what? Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
All right.
So, you know, in Hook, we were talking about how Peter Banning, the Robin Williams older Peter Pan, he didn't change. He just became like the exact opposite, terrible, immature version of an adult. So he's an immature child as Peter Pan, and then he's an immature adult, just business, and he doesn't actually integrate and care for the things that he loves. But by the end of the movie, he integrates all of the good aspects of being a kid through Rufio. Killing off Rufio, he integrates all of the good things about that and then integrates all that into his adult self. So he brings the childlike wonder and stuff like that into being an adult, and then he can integrate with his family and life and business and do it appropriately instead of immaturely. And this movie, I feel like, is a really similar theme, that the theme of the movie is spoken by his dad really early, you know, during the man up, blend up the egg scene, he's like, you have to face your fears, and you have to, keep your heads out of the clouds. You got to do all of the right things or whatever. And at the time, Bastian is like, I don't want to take my head out of the clouds, because it's really hard to do life, it's hard to adulting when I'm 8 or whatever. And but then throughout the movie, through Atreyu, and then by extension, him building the courage, watching Atreyu, the more courageous half of him, he starts to see, like, oh, I can actually man up, or equivalent, but it's like in my own context. I can integrate both. I can integrate my past and my mom and my heritage and the magic of loving life into the real world, which is alluded to at the end when it's like he had many, many adventures.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever. But the flip side, which I think is really, really cool, is Atreyu reaching through the mirror at the midpoint of the movie and recognizing that he has this coward side, and that being Bastian, and just recognizing that inside he's a coward too, just this little wormy geeky 10-year-old that's hiding up in the school attic. And both of them hit hard for different reasons.
What was it?
Dude,
Well, what was
I
it?
love that.
It was like when those little gnome people were talking. It's like, it's like, oh, he has to face who he truly is. And then, she's like, oh, that's going to be easy for him. And it's like, no, like when you go to face yourself, sometimes you see something that really freaks you out and it's not what you expect, Thanks for saving me on that whole thing, by the way, Scott.
That's really cool. Okay, so everything that he learns from Atreyu, I don't know, I love that. That reminds me of Scarlet Pimpernel and how that story led to Batman, and just how the human mind, like, we kind of just like need like an example. The whole hero's journey thing, dude. Oh, that's so cool.
It's like you need permission, and it's dumb
Yeah.
that we need permission, but for some reason we do.
Dang, this just went up a star rating for me. I'm serious.
I'm telling you, wine tastes disgusting, but it's also pretty incredible.
Well, I think part of the reason that we're kind of feeling this way, I think this is going to be a movie where it's more fun to talk about it than to actually watch it. But I think part of it is like this movie feels like high production and low production all at the same time. It's a really weird blend. It's kind of like, I feel like
I think I narrowed that down.
Like, I feel like they put money into what they wanted to put that money into. And then they kind of like, we're like, we don't have to worry about this stuff. Like, let's not stress about this part.
I know one aspect of it, because I'm watching it in high definition. I'm getting my mind blown at all the scenery. And then every time they talk, I'm like, every line, maybe except for Bastian's lines and like the real world, everything else
dubbed.
feels like voice dubbed.
Yeah.
And come to find out, that is what, I mean, it's pretty apparent, but I didn't know if I could put my finger on it. But just looking into like all the animatronics, all the weird like costumes and whatever all that is. It's not Jim Henson, is it? I don't know what studio did all this stuff.
No, that was Brian Johnson that was in charge of all of that. I don't know who that is, but he's one of my inspirations for my dark fantasy 80s dark fantasy video game idea, is the weird big heads and the three faces and just nonsense like that. I'm like, I love these costumes so much.
Yeah. The lots of Return to Oz vibes, especially with those big giant bald heads that are walking around, and that the black dude with like that fin down the center of his skull.
Yeah.
Dude, no, yeah, that whole like council scene where they're like, "Hey, everybody, come here. We're gonna make a plan as to how to save this world." You're looking at it around of all the people that are there. You're just like, dude, this feels like Star Wars, but like high. Like there's some crazy, like those two people walking around. They're just heads. They're just giant pointed heads, just waddling around. Like that just blew my
DK
mind.
mode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
So good, Scott. Oh my gosh.
I wanted to bring up the most egregious voice dubbing though was over our guy Deep Roy.
Deep Roy,
Oh,
that
Teeny
poor guy.
weeny.
That killed
Yeah.
me. I'm not gonna lie. I caught that though. I was like, "That's Deep Roy." I know he was in Jungle
yeah.
Book. You know?
Yep, totally. He is an extra stuntman in the Jungle Book for child Mowgli. Yeah, it feels
Why haven't we done?
disconnected. It's funny.
I mean, why haven't we done a Deep Roy deep dive? I feel like we really,
Deep Roy
really
deep dive.
genuinely need to.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I highly doubt you guys have watched it, but there's this show called Eastbound and Down, and on season 2, the character is one of the greatest comedic series I've ever watched in my life. I think about it a lot. But he goes to Mexico. Deep Roy is this like nasty, like shit talking, like swearing, like Mexican, like cockfighting guy, and you'll never see him the same way ever again. He should have won an Emmy for it. It's so funny.
Hold on a second. I have to look this up so I don't eat my words. But
Yeah.
1 second.
Oh well, hold on.
Well, while you're at it, do Deep Roy Eastbound and Down, and you'll be happy.
Your whole world will change. I love it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, when it came to the voiceover in this, I think the hardest part, the biggest thing that it affected was Atreyu himself. Like, I feel like every line he said had the same cadence, the same volume, and the same tone. Like, it's just like, he's like screaming all the time. And then there's like this like light echo like on everything he says. It's really weird.
Yeah.
It like really tripped me out, but especially at the end when he's talking to the Empress, he's just like, "Well, what do we have to do?
Yeah.
I don't know
yeah.
I don't know what that means." It's just the
Yeah.
same sound over and over again. So I think like I said, I think this movie is better to talk about than actually watch because there's some pretty rough parts about it. And that's one of them.
Not that it matters. But
And then when it comes to like just the set production and everything, I will say that big giant like rock monster at the very beginning,
Rockbiter.
that guy blew my mind. Like he rolls on up, and just the way his like mouth was moving, watching him like bite into that rock, which I don't know if that's considered cannibalism, a rock eating a rock, but it was just like I was just watching it. I was like, this is crazy how good this looks. So I was very impressed in that aspect. All the other characters were just like, these just feel really slimy and dirty, but the rock monster was a big standout.
Thick
for me.
stage makeup.
Yes, very thick.
Let me finish just one. I derailed my own sentence. But one of the reasons that they had to re-record all the voices was because all the hydraulics for the animatronic puppets and stuff was making so much background noise.
Oh,
And
that's
the
funny.
Atreyu part of it, the only reason he had to overdub his own voice was because he was literally like in the midst of puberty when they filmed it. So that's why he had to go voice dub himself. But maybe that explains why he was like yelling a little bit louder so he could like get over the crack in his voice. Maybe. I don't know.
That's funny.
Interesting though.
Okay, so I thought I'd heard, but this is wrong. So I'm not eating my words. I'm clarifying a thing that I didn't say earlier. I had heard that Deep Roy was the voice did a voice in Invader Zim, but that's not true. But what I just learned is that he was uncredited for playing Yoda in The Empire Strikes Back.
Wow. Man, he's in some all-timers. And I don't know if anyone talks about him but us three. I don't know. I've never had a Deep Roy conversation with anyone except Harrison and Scott.
I will say I'm going through my notes and I literally have a whole line that just says, "It's Deep Roy!" exclamation point.
First name basis. Yeah. Full name basis.
The fact that his name is Deep, by the way. Hey Deep.
Yeah. Deep.
Sup, Deep?
Oh, it's just
That's
Deep.
funny. Okay.
Deep's calling me.
Unrelated to any thoughts
Deep's
of my
calling.
own. So I'm on Letterboxd. I'm looking at a review. It says 1 star. This is bullshit. This movie does end. So stupid.
Oh, by the way, actually, I came across that. One experience I had watching this film was I was like, okay, so he's making up this fantasy world, and I had the feeling that he was going to there's a moment where he like screams out really loud, and Atreyu like hears it and reacts to it, And my first thought was like, I wrote down, I was like, I bet this movie is going to be really dang good up until this kid gets teleported into the book and is like walking around with Atreyu the whole time. Little did I know, it's a lot deeper and a lot cooler than that, because I was waiting for that moment.
Well, we should talk about the soundtrack. I already kind of sampled it and sang it for everyone a little bit earlier, but
very accurate.
I was expecting a little bit different music, but it's like it's still very awesome. But I was kind of surprised by the Giorgio Moroder part of all of it.
It's very like it fits this movie.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Unlike Sorcerer's soundtrack, which doesn't fit the movie but works. This movie, Giorgio Moroder like pulled himself out of his normal groove and still made some sick electronic music for this that's just perfectly composed for this movie.
It is magical. It fits it perfectly.
My favorite song is either of his songs. I think it's either the Ivory Tower song, that triumphant dun 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 dun, like, and it's all just high synths. I wish I knew enough about specific synths so I could be that cool guy that's like, that comes from a Roland 429.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I don't know that nonsense. And then that or the Swamp song. It's just so dark and sad, and Artax dies.
Dude.
Yes, he does.
Or maybe he doesn't. He's halfway into the mud, and then the next scene he's gone. So
yeah.
I feel like they really got their money's worth out of that swamp scene.
If you enjoy watching our show on Spotify or YouTube and you want to be more involved, we encourage you to please come check out our Patreon community. Not only does our Patreon community get every episode you see on YouTube early, fully uncut, uncensored, and ad-free, but we're also doing Patreon exclusive episodes, as well as Q&As, video clips, and access to our entire film catalog. It's a lot of fun and a nice way to say thanks for the cost of a cup of coffee every month. Now, back to the show.
Like, I feel like he was there for a good while. You know, you have the horse scene, you had the scene where he's talking to the turtle and the turtle's like sneezing all over him, which I thought was pretty funny.
And then they threw him into the mud like 12 times and he was like legit dirty. I was like, yeah, this kid did his own stunts.
Pretty much. And then after that.
Really? Okay, wait, hold on. Because I thought it was pretty blatantly a stunt double with like a wig on, because he kind of turns his head away. But I was watching it in HD. I don't know if you saw it, but
hey, I'll believe you.
There you go.
Let's sleuth it. Yeah, Harrison, make it short.
And then what was it? Then after that, you get the scene where he's like running away from that wolf that's chasing him, and then Falkor comes in and saves him. Honestly, that scene was really legit. Like, I don't know. Like, I felt the tension of the wolf like chasing after him, and then the moment that Falkor comes and saves him, I was literally like, yes, he did it. Yeah. He got out of the swamp of sadness. That feels good.
That part where he finds Gamork like hanging out across the hall from his self-portrait is like legitimately kind of scary.
Dude, no.
With the green eyes.
Yeah,
I was
no.
like,
that
whoa.
was.
And I look around and I was more scared than everyone. But
well, no, I think it was just so trippy. Like, you know, he lands in this like ruined city. He's walking up to all these paintings, like seeing his whole adventure like painted out in front of him. And then, yeah, when he walks up to that painting of the wolf and he's like, I don't recognize this. And then he turns his head and the wolf is right there. It's like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Like, that was intense. That's
a really good script writing and filming.
Yeah, amen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to propose that we write an essay about how the American Werewolf in London werewolf and Gamork are the same entity and how they're connected. I'm not sure how this is going to work, but just maybe that'll be our first essay.
Gosh, okay.
I'll post the first draft on Google Drive tonight.
There you go.
All right.
Okay, wait.
Right,
okay,
cool.
Which one was better? That's the real question here, guys.
Oh man, are we talking animatronics between Gamork and the werewolf?
Yes, that's the only reason we're recording this right now, Scott.
Man, I feel like I have to say American Werewolf in London, but I also don't know if that's true.
Well, the thing is, you have to separate.
They're both really good.
Yeah, well, you have to separate the transformation scene too, because I think that's kind of clouding it a little bit. So you have to,
but both of them
really
are like wheelbarrow wolves.
That's true. Oh, by the way, apparently they did that scene where the wolf jumps out of him and he kills him with that improvised, rock knife or whatever. They filmed that one time.
The blood.
Because apparently the wolf
nice.
like came out at Atreyu really hard and almost like knocked the actor out, and like the paw almost like scratched one of his eyes out, and he was like freaking out.
What?
Like, yeah, no, yeah. Apparently there was a lot of accidents on this movie. Like the kid actor who played Atreyu, he had like a fracture in his back from a scene, and production was shut down for like 2 months. And then this scene with the wolf, like it almost like, gouged his eyes out. So they were like, okay, we're not going to film that again. We'll just take whatever we got.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, I sent you that trailer for Life After NeverEnding Story, and I didn't talk about that, but that looks really interesting and kind of tragic.
Yeah, I think honestly, I watched that trailer too when he sent it, and I was like, I bet there's some rough stuff going on with this, the production of this and what happened afterwards.
And I think a lot of it is like afterwards, because, all movies are insane productions and good and bad happens within them. But I'm really interested to see, like, when your heroes like Benny from The Sandlot go out and start punching people in public and getting thrown in jail, you're like, whoa, what happened to that guy? Like, and I feel similar with Atreyu. I'm like, oh man, this guy really, he's having a rough go, and he's expressing himself through his body,
Yeah.
Can say that.
What was it? I actually really liked the conversation they were having between Atreyu and the wolf. Like, he's just like explaining like what the nothingness is and like what's happening. And he's like, he's like the ambassador of the nothingness, and he's trying to destroy this world as well. And then what is it? He has a really intense line. It was something like, oh yeah, people who have no hope are easy to control. Like, I was like, whoa, like that kind of hit pretty hard. That's pretty intense.
This was my favorite part of the movie. Yeah. So I kind of read it in a different way. I'm curious what you guys think, but I think it's another part, but they basically just state that Fantasia has no boundaries. Here's the way I read it. The nothingness is like complacency and like the lack of like drive. Maybe. I don't know.
No.
I was trying to look for like other meanings, and like if you like stifle like who you're supposed to be or creativity or anything like that. That's kind of the way I was reading it.
Well, it's kind of my big level up in this movie. Maybe hopefully I got this right, but in my head I'm like, okay, Fantasia is like Bastian's world. It's not like a representation of everyone on the planet. This is like his experience and what's going on with him. So I think you read it right, that it's like, okay, there's no, he doesn't have drive. Maybe he's losing hope right now. The grief of his mother dying is like clouding his memories and things like that. And he's trying to stay on the ground and kind of let this Fantasia world go away. But it's like, no, like you can't go so hard to one side and let this world be destroyed. You need to find this balance between them, between staying on the ground and keeping your imagination alive. Like that's kind of how I saw it.
Totally.
So it's about depression as well.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Most definitely. Well, I think the swamp kind of represents that too. I mean, what was it? I need to rewatch
Hopeless.
it. Yeah. I need to rewatch it. But I read someone else's comment. They were like, I love the fact that his horse is like sinking. The horse is giving into the sadness. It's giving into the depression. And that's why he's falling into the swamp and he's going to die. And while that's happening, you can actually see Atreyu also sinking once he kind of realizes like, I'm going to lose my friend here. He's dying right now. My hope is going down. I'm giving into the sadness, and you could see him sinking in as well. And that hit really hard. Like, I wouldn't say it like traumatized me, maybe just because I'm an adult now, but like emotionally, I was watching and I was like, dude, I know what this feels like. Just having moments like that. I think we've all had moments like that. I think it's just a universal human experience to be like, no, like I feel like I'm in that swamp some days and I can't get out. It's really hard too. So,
can I maybe make a connection to our previous episode where I was talking about how Sorcerer is just so raw and so human, and I feel like this movie has a really similar groundedness to it in a completely different way. Like, it's on the surface, it's so fake and it's acted poorly and all these things, and dubbed, and the costumes are terrible, but creative,
Yeah.
all these things. But there's everything about it is so relatable. So relatable. There's like every single scene you're like, yeah, I felt that, maybe not that specific situation. I don't know, Ren was cooler than us, but um everyone's been that dorky kid. Everyone's felt out of place. Everyone's felt like they were treated like they were younger than they were, like Atreyu at the beginning. Like, oh, if you don't want my help, then I guess I'll go back. And it's like, oh, please help us, stuff like that. But then you start getting the deeper themes about depression and hopelessness and having the courage to stand up and face your fears. And there's no corny line in this about face your fears, like a lot of movies do. It's like you see him face his fears over and over and over. And Atreyu and Bastian both do it at the scale that they need, and both of them are heart-wrenching and difficult for their specific spots. And so to be explicitly told, like your world is disappearing because you're giving up, is a really powerful story, especially for the nerds that don't feel like they fit in, the D&D crowds or whatever that are going to like this movie more than the sports kids or whatever. But I just feel like the more I've watched this movie, the more the deeper themes stand out, and the more I feel like I relate to it. I'm like, this movie is perfect in that it's just so well said.
I know what you mean. Yeah. So it's like a perfect story, but not a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, that's closer.
I like that.
That's closer.
I
Okay.
like that. Well, honestly, it makes me want to read the book now, actually. That's
Yeah, I was going to say
right?
that. Definitely. Yeah. In fact, I know the author was not happy with this movie. So there's probably more to dig into in that book.
Right. Well, yeah, I was reading up on that. Apparently, the ending of this movie is like 75% through the first book. Like the actual ending of the movie isn't in the actual ending of the story isn't in this movie. And I didn't do a lot of research into it, but
wow,
apparently he wasn't. Apparently he wasn't really happy with a lot of things when it came to
Order
it.
it up,
dude. I gotta read it now.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like I want to know.
Yeah, I know, pretty much. So Scott, you were just talking, and I think you really put into context the Sphinx scene with the big giant knockers. Like I was so distracted I couldn't think about it, but
I blacked out.
But I feel like because
blacked out, bloody nose.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's because you're kind of watching it, and you witness like this knight go to the Sphinxes, and then he gets just completely obliterated, and his like black like skull is like inside of his helmet. I'm sure that was a traumatic moment too.
And then instantly covered with dust within seconds.
Yeah, pretty much. But just that idea of like pushing forward, like maybe that's what that scene was. It's like literally Atreyu just watched this knight who has this aura of like, oh, knights are brave. They're the ones who go to the end. They rescue the princess, They're the good guys. They have honor. And he just walked up to the Sphinx and just freaking obliterated him. And yet Atreyu's like, I still need to go forward. I need to get pushed past this. And honestly, like my first thought when that happened was like, okay, hold on. So he just like dodged the bullet and like, that's all he needed. That's all the knight needed to do, and he would have been fine. But I think just going along with what you said, it's like, no, like what you really needed to do is you needed to not give up. You needed to push forward and go beyond what you think you're capable of doing in order to get past this first gate or this first test that's put before you.
Yeah. So on that note too, like
beautiful.
Like when I was watching this, even as a kid, like I never thought Bastian was like a nerd, but obviously he gets picked on. But I think one of the reasons that it's so powerful is because he does see himself as sort of inept, and he runs away from the bullies. He doesn't fight back. He doesn't stick up for himself. But then when this dude in the bookstore, like, basically tells him to turn away, do not read this book, you're not ready for it, and then he accepts this challenge, and the book owner is just so pleased that he takes the book from him. He's so happy about it. But he's a badass little kid, and he's brave, and I don't know. I think that's cool. I think that's what really sets this movie up, and one of the like underrated parts that makes it so great.
Scott, just so you know, I truly believe that bookkeeper is really older Bastian now. It's like
Yeah,
it's colored
That does
whole,
make sense.
It's colored that whole scene now.
It's good. Headcanons are real.
Yeah.
So maybe we can say that there's a like the deeper theme of this movie is something closer to like we're all powerful. Like meaning not we're all powerful like with a hyphen, but we all of us are powerful and we need to believe that. Like our story
ourselves.
our story is an infinite story that we have to keep pushing forward because our worlds matter. Something like that.
Dang. Man, okay. I'm just wow. Okay, Scott. You're making my brain like blow up because the thing is this, like when it comes to grief and things that are happening to us, like I went through a really crappy year in 2025. Like the beginning of the year was really bad for me. And just the thought of like, no, I am powerful. I can control what affects me and what I can do when these terrible things are happening to me, when the nothingness is like swirling in my mind. I'm not like just someone standing there and letting everything happen around me and affect me in that way. It's like, no, I'm in control of this. Like I can be powerful. I can keep my imagination alive. I can push through this grief. It's going to slow me down and I'm going to be trudging through this swamp of sadness for a little while. But when I get to the end of it, I'm the one who's going to be in charge of if I get out or not. Ooh, man, this movie's good.
That's good. Well, that's really cool. And I think that's what adds to like the payoff. Like at the end of this movie, when Bastian gets his turn to ride on Falkor, like that part hits so hard. I love that part.
I have comments about that.
Another side note about Giorgio Moroder's soundtrack, but without his music, that giant head puppet would look way sillier without that music going with it.
The like creepy grandpa pedophile dragon.
Dude, I will say I like how Falkor is just so like nonchalant about everything that's happening. Like I feel like he isn't like he wants to protect the kid, but he's just like, yeah, the world's blowing up, but you know, whatever. I'll help you get from one place to the next. What was it? Doesn't he have a line where he's like, it's like this place we have to go through is 10,000 miles away. And Falkor's like, well, I brought you 998,000 miles there or something like that. Like, it just made me laugh.
My dog looks exactly like exactly like Falkor. It makes me smile.
Okay, so talking about the ending though, I'll be honest, like you have this like crazy emotional and intense moment between the Empress and Bastian that really like gutted me in half.
You mean Princess Zelda from Ocarina of Time?
Yes. So I feel like you have this like really intense scene and she's basically like, hey, this grain of sand, that's all that's left. And you have all the wishes in the world to like recreate this world and do anything you want to. You're a god now, Bastian. Like you are in control of this destiny now. And then it like does like a hard cut to him like, woo, like riding on Falkor. And I'm like, that felt like the most like
So
kid
cool.
thing ever. Like my first thought was like, bro, you gotta like rebuild this world. Like you're the god of this place now and you're riding on Falkor. And then of course, you know, it's like, okay, he did rebuild it. And then this scene happened. I will say though, him going into the real world to like get his revenge on the bullies, I was like, that just it didn't do it. It didn't do it for me at all. Like the fact that Falkor like becomes real in that moment, I was like, nope. Like that kind of ruined it. Ruined the whole part for me at the end, anyways.
In the words of my son, the ending was cringe. I thought that was funny.
And he's not wrong, but
Yeah, he's not
also
wrong.
he's the same age as Bastian. So
Yeah.
So guess what? Guess what? You're cringe.
I want to talk because I don't have an answer to this, but I want to know what the thematic purpose in juxtaposition to everything else we talked about with grief and suffering and needing to just endure through some things, and some things it's like you just keep walking forward, and some things you have to have the courage to fight the thing, all that stuff. Face your fears by looking at your cowardice in the mirror, all those amazing themes. And then we have this blanket of luck. And I don't even disagree that it doesn't fit. That was a lot of double negatives. I don't know if I said what I meant. But I'm also like, it's so dumb. But maybe it's deeper, like the rest of the movie is deeper, and I'm just too crotchety and crusty and nothing to catch it.
I mean,
The nothing swarmed you.
Yeah, just like Falcor coming in to save him. It's like, okay, so he's the luck dragon. He just happened to show up at the right time.
It's just like a massive Deus Ex Machina constantly. It's got serious Magnolia. That happened
see that.
vibes.
Yeah.
Like,
I see that.
I would say like just like my reaction to you talking about it. My first thought was like, well, Falcor is like other people coming in to help us and to, because it's like, look, like there's grief and there's hard times you're going through, and it's like, yes, like I am, I am powerful enough, and to get through it, I'm the one who's going to decide where I'm going to end up. But that doesn't mean I have to do it by myself. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people come into your life and it's like, no, they're the reason that I got through that hard time. I think all three of us can say that about our spouses. Like I think we've all gone through crap in our life, and our spouse is the one who's there to save us, to pull us out of the swamp of sadness and make us look at it in a different light, or things like that. So
I guess
that's kind of my gut reaction
I've
to
never thought of it as the word as lucky, but
Yeah.
I think we are lucky. We can be grateful for the luck that we have, because we didn't it's like, well, I didn't deserve the goodness that I just got right there. And maybe that's just the fact that you're in a really tough spot and you can't think anything positive about yourself. But I am grateful for, the random stranger that said the thing, or the fact that like I never have deep conversations with my dad, but then this one time he was like, "Hey man, you want to sit down and talk about it?" And I just like cried, or that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Totally.
I guess I'm just lucky that I have good people around me. So Harrison, that's beautiful. Thank you.
No problem. Well, yeah, like honestly, I try not to think about it too much because it hurts my head. But the thought of like, I was born in Oregon on this one spot on this whole planet to these two parents, like it's just like when you really think
What are the
about it,
chances?
sometimes you're like, my whole world is so random as to where I ended up. You know what I mean? And sometimes
you're on a flying rock spinning 16,000 miles per hour in an endless, vastless,
Just
universe of
remember that you're
nothingness.
standing on a planet that's revolving at 100 million miles an hour. You ever heard that Monty Python song? I think that's
I
Eric
haven't
Idle.
seen that in its entirety. Don't judge me.
It's a good one.
There were some familiar faces that I would like to talk about. We've already discussed the magnificent Deep Roy, but I was wondering if either of you noticed one of the bully kids, bully number 1. The actor's name is Chris Eastman, and he plays Belch from the made-for-TV It. I don't know if you guys recognized him at all, but I love that movie, so I recognize him right away. And then the actress Patricia Hayes as Urgel is Roselle from Willow. Did you recognize her?
Wait, who is Urgel in this?
She's the guy with the really he's bald and he has the pointy ears and he's like, and he like pops his head up. His wife, she's Roselle, who goes, "Willow, you idiot."
That's so awesome.
She was familiar. But other than that, like I was looking at the kid Bastian. He's not. I mean, he's in just a bunch of garbage after this, and he's not acting anymore. But I would have assumed he would have went farther based on the success of this movie. But
the Empress, I know, became a professional dancer.
Yeah.
I think she was hired originally because she was like a child model or something like that. I mean, honestly, cute girl.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
honestly, we haven't talked about, like, I got teary-eyed. The scene where she starts crying to I forget what she's doing. She's talking with Bastian and he's reading it.
I have the line. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna read it to you right now.
Will it
Okay.
be as emotional as hers?
No, it won't be. Bastian, why don't you do what you dream? Bastian, but I can't. I have to keep my feet on the ground. Call my name, Bastian, please. Save us. All right, I'll do it. I'll save you. I'll do what I dream. And then he yells out Moonchild. But like, why don't you do what you dream, Bastian? Like that's
Call my name.
yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man, I could see that a plaque of that. Why don't you do what you dream? Like, that's pretty. It's pretty heavy, you know.
That's
Ren,
pretty
we have
good.
so much merch. Get on it.
Yeah.
No,
The
honestly,
possibilities are endless.
I really, really love the fact that they made her stare right into the camera while she said that line, and then Bastian's staring at the camera too. I was like, this is the best decision they've made for this whole movie, because oh man,
I love the scene when it's just black and they're standing right in front of each other and she just holds out her hand and there's just that tiny grain of sand, this bright light in her hand, and it so illuminates her hand. It's just that one grain of sand. And she's like, this is it, man. What are you going to do with it? And I was just like, it's such a beautiful shot.
amen.
Dang. This movie gets better
It does.
the more you talk about it.
It's the worst good movie I know.
Yeah, no,
I was honest when
It's
I
iconic.
was like, this movie is bad, and it just gets better every time you watch it.
And it's kind of violent.
Yeah.
I like that.
you know what, Ren? I think you nailed it. I think this is a perfect story and an imperfect movie. I think that's exactly what this movie is.
What's funny is, like, I agree with you, and, like, based on, like, some of the love for this movie, like, you might get a death threat for saying that. Like, some people are so in love with this movie. It's crazy.
Hey, let's put it in a short just so we can get the hate.
Yeah, pretty much. Right?
Let's drum up some hate, boys.
We're just gonna rage bait everyone. I just got a couple random little notes I wanted to share. I noted, I was like, I bet you anything this dad at the very beginning, I bet he's actually in his 30s. Just people looked way older back then.
Oh, totally.
Oh man, fact.
I also think that
He was 22.
also, I bet you anything that kitchen, I bet that was like so high tech for back then. Everyone's like, dude, that's like a sick kitchen right there.
Dude,
That
his
tile.
blender, top of the line.
Top of the line, the best.
Do you see what it did to that orange juice and egg?
it like blended it.
Oh,
I guarantee that blender still works to this day.
Amen.
It's at your grandma's house somewhere.
So while I was watching this, I did appreciate the fact that I watched like a really nice remastered version or whatever you want to call it, and I could really look at like the big rock golem guy and be like, whoa, this looks insane. But there was a tiny voice in the back of my head was like, I don't think you're getting the real experience unless you're watching like a beat up VHS version of this movie that's a little staticky. Like I feel like that would add to the vibe of this movie just a little bit more than it being so crystal clear.
Dude, you're setting me up perfect. I started watching this on the Plex account, and it started like acting weird, and then I had it on DVD, but it was like, nowhere near HD. And I put it on, and I was like, this feels right.
Yeah.
Like, this feels better. But before it started acting funny, I like all the awesome cloud scenery, like going into Fantasia is amazing. And then it shows Atreyu riding his horse through like the valleys, and there's those crystal shards like poking out of the ground.
Crystal
and the mountains.
Forest.
Yeah.
I
Dude.
love
Dude.
the Crystal Forest.
I never stopped getting blown away by like how much detail there is in those, because there wasn't anything near high definition back then, so it didn't need to be that detailed. And I think makeup in a lot of older movies doesn't look good in HD, but I haven't found any of these scenery scenes that like just look worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
Anyways, I appreciated it.
that. Yeah,
I'm telling you guys, I lived in the 80s dark fantasy as the lead for the design of this video game, and
Yes.
I watched so many 80s dark fantasy movies, and I get chills thinking about this vibe. It's so distinct, and there's
Yeah, it is.
no other country did it. It was US in this really narrow time, like Conan the Barbarian through NeverEnding Story, Dark Crystal, and the Labyrinth. stuff like that. Like there's just this really specific vibe, and I love it. I love it so much, and I have nothing else to say. Just know this. Know this, guys.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
you know, honestly, just thinking about it, back then when they were making these sets, I feel like they really put their heart and soul into it, because I feel like nowadays you could have a lot of moments. I'm sure there's lots of moments where like, we'll fix it in post, just throw it on a green screen. We'll make it up later. But back then it's like, no, like we got to make this thing look incredible right now, because this is all we got.
There were so many things. So it's oh,
I just sent you down the tunnel, didn't I?
so when you watch The Lord of the Rings, and Peter Jackson was like a miniature nerd, right? And he just built Gondor and all the towers and all the sets. He just built them as these to scale miniatures, and then they're hand painted, and they just feel so legit because it's a practical effect. And they bring the camera right up close to it, and they do these panning shots, and then they'd clean it up or add little features here and there with CG. But it's one of the reasons why that very CG movie feels so real, is because so much of it is actually real.
Yeah.
It was like the opposite. Like we can do CG, and he didn't all the way Nolan it. Like Peter Jackson's a technology nerd. And so he didn't Nolan this with being like, everything's practical to make it look like Willow. And it's like, no, we need to make it look like Middle Earth, but to make it feel real and to scale and tangible, and the scale it's supposed to be. Like, they're just handmade sets. And one of the things that we had as a core pillar of our design, the art direction for the design for this game, was like every set we would make in clay, then 3D scan, and then clean it up in like a 3D modeling program, and use the actual textures from the actual set instead of painting it digitally, stuff like that. So it would have the imperfect feeling of these just beautiful handcrafted sets.
Love it. I'm looking at 1984. Dude, underrated year. There's an article saying 1984 may be the greatest year of movies ever, ? But I'm just going to read some of these other ones. So 84 gave us Gremlins, Karate Kid, Ghostbusters, Beverly Hills Cop, Red Dawn, 2010, the year we make contact, Dune, we'll get to that, but we'll be talking about that a little bit later, Conan the Destroyer, Starman, dude, there's just Amadeus. This is Spinal Tap. Dude,
Holy
there's so
crap,
many good movies
dude.
in this one year.
Oh, wait a minute.
Splash,
Why
16
haven't we done
Candles.
Spinal Tap? Why haven't we watched Spinal Tap yet, guys?
Dude, we need to. Mockumentary month.
Yeah.
My final note that I have on my list is when our Atreyu goes up and sees the mirror of him and Bastian. They can see each other. I just wrote down, "Dear God, I'm actually a white kid with a bad haircut."
Well, let's transition. So, our slimiest scenes and our ratings. I'm going to go first. So, my favorite parts of this movie, number one, is when Falkor winks at Atreyu. I think that is so awesome. And you see the animatronics, and
That was half the budget.
yeah, there's like this weird mechanical thing going on in Falkor's upper lip when he talks. Just notice it next time. It's really cool. It's just like this gyrating arm that gives it so much character. No, but in all seriousness, every scene where Bastian is reading the book and he has these weird little epiphanies that it's all connected, those parts are amazing. I don't know why that part connects with me. I think we've all had those. It's just so relatable. Like, I've read a book and I'm just like, I feel like I'm reading this for a reason. Like, this is not a coincidence. This is so weird. I was just thinking about this, or sort of unrelated, but applicable. But one time I was reading Lewis and Clark, a collection of all of their journal entries going down the Oregon Trail, coming east all the way to the west to the Oregon coast. And on the day of this entry, I'm reading it. It was the day that they made contact at the Oregon coast, and we were at the beach when I was reading it, and I was like, dude, what? Like, this is so weird. It was wild. But yeah, I love those moments in this movie. And when we first started recording, I was like, I don't want to be a bummer, but this feels like a 3, maybe a 3.5, and I'm up to a 4.5. I think the message, the themes, everything that we talked and like hashed out helped me look past, like we said, an imperfect movie, but I think the story is perfect. And I legitimately, I'll probably do audiobook, but I want to read the original story now. It sounds, I'm really intrigued by it all.
Most definitely.
Take it, Harry.
Yeah, so my slimy scene, we already talked about it, but it's that scene where the child empress, like looks directly into the camera and just like looks like deep into my soul and just says that line, like, why don't you dream? Why don't you do what you dream, Bastian? Like that, like right into my soul. It was really, really intense. And like, she's a good crier too. Like, she pulled that off.
Yeah.
In terms of my rating, I'm kind of like, honestly, I was even lower than you, Ren. I was like, 2.5, like pretty average, like nothing too crazy, but like, yeah, really thinking about it. I'm going to give it a 4 and put it right there. I don't really see myself reaching for this movie that often, but I think the ideas and the imagery is going to stick with me for a long time.
Absolutely. Like fighting back the storm of the nothing. Yeah. Like I feel like that alone, just that one little piece of the story, like that's like in our lexicon now. Like that's just like part of my life so now.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so my slimiest scene is the mirror scene when Atreus sees that he's a little coward hiding in a school. And what's cool about it is that it's not Atreus seeing that, it's Bastian seeing it through Atreus' eyes, that in comparison to Atreus, he's nothing.
Yeah.
He's nothing. And he has to reckon with that in that moment. And that's the biggest epiphany moment for Bastian in the movie, was he's like throws the book and he's like, what the ever living crap am I doing? You know?
Yeah.
I love that scene. I got a shout out to my boy Hawkins. His favorite scene is what I quoted at the beginning. The stupid line when he grabs the sandwich and he's like, takes one bite and he goes, no, not too much. Got a long way to go. And Hawkins legitimately, every time he has a sandwich, he takes one bite and he looks at me and just like full on eye contact and says that. It's like we just like die laughing every time.
That is so funny because Cash was talking about that part. He's like, that's so unrealistic and the kids don't do that. And I was like,
guess what?
Anyways, that's so funny. Yeah. It's so funny how kids see it differently.
I'm going to give this a 4. It's just a really, really amazing movie that's so corny. And I love it. That's it.
Amen.
I have the highest rating of all of you, and like I'm okay with it. But when we started, I was like, I'm gonna try not to be so negative because I knew there was more to it. Like when I don't fully grasp it, I know that when we get on here, like something's gonna come up, or Scott will say something. I'm like, I never thought of that. Or Harrison, you'll notice something, and I'm like, didn't even think twice about it. Like, it's funny.
Well, no,
I think Harry carried us today.
Love it.
I appreciate it because, man, that stupid like ramble I went on that went to nowhere. I was like, wow, I'm on a roll, I guess. Anyways, no, I think this is going to be kind of the poster child of movies that just get better the more you talk about it. You know what I mean? Like talking about it is better than watching it. I think this is just like the poster child for that. that should, you know what? That should have been a slimy award. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, totally. Well, we only got 48 more episodes till our next award show,
and 48 more slimies.
Yep. Rapid fire. One piece of memorabilia that you'd love to own from this movie. Scott, go first.
I want the weird telescope that the old man has up on the tower, or to the winch wench, that thing. I just want the weird crystals sticking out of it, and they like turn the crank, and I love that thing. That vibe is so real.
I'll take one of the big-breasted sphinxes. No, okay. Let me think. No. I would love, honestly, that rock golem, like a little version on my desk where I can like have him like hold my phone or like be a cup holder or something like that. I love that.
Okay. Since you didn't officially take the Sphinx Gate, I'm taking it. But what I want to do, I want to have them facing outward, and I want them to be bookends on my shelf.
Dude.
So they're pointing out.
I'm not gonna lie, that'd be really great because then you'll have that moment where you invite one person over and they walk by and go, "No way."
Well, do you want the gold ones or the blue ones?
I feel like
or maybe they're gold, but when you put a black light on them, they're blue.
I don't know. I feel like the blue ones would glow and it would keep you up at night.
Okay, this is real funny, and then we'll end this. But I have this like a native Aborigine tribesman, like wooden, like it's basically like a half statue, and it's a topless woman. She's not from around here. She doesn't have clothes on, and she's got these big old boobies on her. And the other day I'm looking at it, and there's like little bite marks on her boobs from when my kids were like 2, 3, 4 years old. So now they're a little bit older. I think they can handle the Sphinx Gate bookends. So that's cool. They would survive.
They're like, okay, that's a milk producer.
Why am I so thirsty?
All of a sudden. Anyways.
Before we head out, looking ahead to next week's episode, we're heading into the spice cabinet, to the desert, Frank Herbert's mind. We're watching Dune, 1984, yet again, just a few months after this movie was released. We got Dune. I think it was in December or something. But we're a film pod. We don't forget the giants that came before us. We honor film. We're not watching the new Dunes. The 1984
We're watching the
version.
good one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the polarizing version starring Sting, all right?
Oh my gosh.
And that's all next.
It's going to be so awesome.
This movie is really, really iconic, guys. If you've not seen it,
I've never
I'm
seen
excited.
be ready for how much this movie vibes, okay? It's perfect.
That's a wrap on another episode of Cinema Slime. Be sure to watch the next film before next Wednesday. We had a blast and hope you enjoyed it. This episode was a production by your hosts, Harrison Jensen, Ren Jensen, and Scott Shepard. This is a group effort, and seriously, thank you. Thank you for listening and watching us, however you found us. We really appreciate it. Help us grow by leaving a comment, a 5-star review, subscribe, and share an episode with another cinema lover. Also, let's connect. Find us on Discord and Letterboxd for film discussions, reviews, and recommendations. Also, check us out on social media. We're always posting clips, film rabbit holes we're going down, and interesting stuff. And you can also show your support by using Buy Me a Coffee, and we'll give you a shout out if you'd like. All links can be found in the episode notes. Goodbye.